how are you today? So if we go back to our last lesson, we talked a little bit about Dorian, and it's what I call its cousin scale from Melodic Minor. Today, we're talking about Phrygian, its cousin scale, which would be, for Phrygian, the cousin scale would be Dorian flat 2 scale, okay? It's another mode of Melodic Minor. Anyways, getting on to the subject here. Phrygian is the third mode of the major scale, and it's a dark one. You know why it's dark? Because when we look at it, you can see it has a root, a flat 2, a minor second, right? A minor third, a fourth, a fifth, a minor sixth, and a minor seventh. So anytime you have all these minor intervals, you guessed it, you're going to have a very dark, brooding sound. You can't get any more minor than this. There's no other note that could be minor. Fourths and fifths are perfect or diminished or augmented, right? So every note that could be minor is minor in this scale, so it's dark. Now, when you harmonize it and you make a chord, this is like the secret trick for this mode. Something somebody has to tell you, or you won't really figure it out on your own. You don't harmonize it with that minor third in there. You harmonize it with the fourth. So in other words, a 1 rather than the flat 3, a 1, a 4, a 5, and, maybe a minor 7, but definitely the flat 9, because that's what the characteristic of this mode is, that flat 9, okay? So if the scale goes like this, we don't harmonize it to like a minor thing, or a minor thing with a flat 9. That doesn't sound good. We harmonize it with the fourth, so it sounds like this kind of chord. Now that's a nice sound right there. If you want to put this is a 1, of course you can leave that to your bass player. Flat 9, 4, 5, root. If you want to put the flat 7, you can. It's a nice sound. So let's listen a little bit to the way that this chord sounds, okay? It's like an exotic sound, right? It's like a dark, exotic kind of tropical sound, okay? So, anyways, getting back to the scale. Now, if you want to know the rule for this, I have to mention, a lot of times in modal type of music, they won't even write flat 9 sus4. A lot of times they'll just write in the chart Phrygian. And if it just says Phrygian, this is the sound that they're looking for, a sus chord with a flat 9, okay? So if you're playing and the chart says Phrygian, and you have to play a solo, in this case it's C, right? C Phrygian. All you have to do is think down a major third. What's a major third below C? That's A flat. So you need an A flat major scale, and that's instant Phrygian for you. So remember, A flat major scale over C flat 9 sus or C7 flat 9 sus is going to give you a Phrygian sound. Okay, so let's just listen to that. So next up, Just like we did with the last Dorian mode, remember, there's 3 minor pentatonic scales you can use. Okay, now, since we know this is A flat, we know that the 2 chord is B minor. I'm sorry, B flat minor. Therefore, you can use a B flat minor pentatonic scale. You can use a C minor pentatonic scale. So that's the 3 chord in the key of A flat, right? And this is a C chord, so that should be all right. Next, you got an F minor pentatonic scale. That would be the 6th chord in the key of A flat, right? But if you need the rule, all you have to do is remember the rule is you can play a minor pentatonic scale on the root, the flat 7, that would be down a whole step from the root, and on the 4th. And those are the pentatonic scales that work. You have to get used to this a little bit because the flat 6th note that's in the scale is not that friendly for the sound. So, and those show up in, obviously in some of the minor pentatonic scales. So, but, you get used to it and you figure out how to weave in and out, and you should be okay. It's just a matter of developing your ears, okay? Okay, all right, so experiment with those. Next, the major triads, right? So the major triads in the key of A flat are going to be the 1 chord A flat, the 4 chord D flat, and the 5 chord E flat, right? So these are the triads that you can use. Let's try those and see how those sound. Good. Next, so these are, some easy tricks that you can use for the Phrygian mode to make your motifs, right? So remember, there's a cousin. There's going to be a cousin for every major scale mode, and that cousin comes from melodic minor scale, okay? Now, last time we did Dorian, and the cousin for Dorian is the melodic minor scale, right, from the root. In this case, the cousin for the Phrygian mode is going to be what we call the Dorian flat 2 mode. Now, that name's a little deceiving because we're not using it like we'd use a Dorian scale. That's why I don't really like the name. But when we look at the rule for this mode, it's you play the melodic minor scale a major 2nd below the root. So we're playing C, so we need a B flat melodic minor scale. Now, what does this give you? This is the important thing. In this case, over this chord, it gives you the root, the flat 2, which would be the flat 9. That's right in there in the chord generally, right? The flat 3, the 4th, which we usually play rather than the flat 3. Then it has the 5th, and rather than the flat 6, the minor 6, we get a major 6. So it's like the Phrygian scale with a major 6. That's why they should, because we use it, in place or along with the Phrygian mode. So I don't know why they don't call it the Phrygian major sixth mode or something like that, which makes more sense to me, but whatever. But that's how we use it, okay? So it's got the major sixth rather than the minor sixth, which gives it, it's going to give it a brighter sound. Generally, that flat six doesn't go in this chord. Sometimes the major six does go in it. You can play it like this. And it's a great sounding scale too. It works nicely mixed up with the Phrygian mode. So let's check that out.